Hello students, welcome back. We are going to talk about remote controlled systems in this case study now. So you can see the remotes around you all the times. Either it is an AC remote, a TV remote, or a key to enter your car. All of them works on a very similar principle that we are going to discuss now. So as an objective, we are going to study IR or infrared radiation based remote controls. These can be used to control the direction of a very simple toy car. They can be used to control the speed of a DC motor. They can control any other digital device or even your home appliances. So, what are we going to have? We need an IR receiver and transmitter pair. The transmitter is going to send some unique codes which are modulated with a carrier frequency. And there are some buttons on the remote. Every button, whenever it is pressed, it is going to generate a unique code which will be modulated with carrier frequency and sent as an IR signal. The receiver is going to receive and decode those codes which are encoded in that carrier frequency, and once these decodings are done, then we can use simple conditional statements that on press of 1 or up or down, what should be the function of my appliance or device. A wide variety of applications can be designed using remote control, and you use them and see them around you throughout your daily life. The block diagram of any such system is as follows. First of all, we need the IR remote, which is our transmitter. Then we need an IR receiver, which is going to decode the pressed buttons. Then we need a microcontroller, in our case that is Arduino. Once we program it with some conditional statements, we can use external relays and control some appliances or any digital device. So we discussed about two new components. One is IR transmitter and one is IR receiver. So first of all, let us check what is an IR transmitter. It is having an IR LED to transmit your digital codes which are modulated on top of an infrared frequency. Infrared frequencies are in the range of few kilohertz which are above 20 kilohertz, right? So using that carrier frequency, we are going to encode some codes, and on the press of each button, a unique code value is modulated with this IR frequency and sent. This is how the messages generally look like. So if the carrier frequency is 38 kilohertz or 44 kilohertz or anything similar, then the receiver should also be designed to work on the same frequency. There are some IR standards which control the design of all IR based applications. There are two very standard which are REC 80 and 5. 80 will code the pulse or pause the pulse. There were pulses, you have seen that the messages were in the form of pulses. So this standard will code the pulse or pause the pulse at a given instance. REC 5 is going to code the transition from one pulse to another one. Both of them works on 38 kilohertz for most of the applications. There are few more carrier frequencies which are very specifically used by some companies for their appliances. IR receiver, the second important component of these applications. Here we have three pins, one for ground, one for VCC, and one is output. The output is going to be connected to our microcontroller to give the information about the decoded value. So it is going to convert the modulated IR signal into a digital number. So your remote control, which is having an IR LED, it is sending one modulated IR signal. Your IR diode or your receiver is receiving and decoding the button value as a binary value and sending it to our microcontroller, which is Arduino in our case. So how to handle or read the received signals? Well, every remote, as we said, they can have the unique set of codes for every button, while it is also possible that some remotes can have common codes for some buttons. So you would have seen that the AC remote of one model can sometime work with another AC as well. So when you connect the remote on the serial port and you press the buttons, you can read the values coming on the serial port, and this is how you are going to decide that okay, the first one is when I pressed 1, the second is when I pressed 2, and third is when I again pressed 1. So all these codes, once you read from the serial port, then you can use conditional statements to design your application. So what can be the possible applications? Very simple, which is like getting started guide for a remote controlled application is a remote controlled car, where you are going to use up, down, left, right arrows to control the movement of a remote controlled car. You can control your home appliances also. You can switch them on or off using remote control. You can make some very useful or hobby projects like a pet feeder. You can press the remote and the food is given in the pet plate. You can have a control for 8x8 LED matrix or even larger displays using the remote controls. An open source version of this project is available on Arduino community. You can access it, expand it, and learn more from this repository. So now once we know a very good way to connect through wireless mode, that is IR remote, we are going to have another advanced wireless connectivity based case study, and that is Bluetooth based home automation. Keep learning. Thank you.